welcome to Wildcard Day on Beyond the Blurb. This is very exciting. I'm talking to a few different people involved in Broad Humor Film Festival, which this year is the last weekend of September. And I had the pleasure last year of being part of the DIY day, which we'll get into a little bit later. And it's a very exciting gathering of many filmmakers and wonderful artists. So the guest right now is Susan diRende, who is founder, brainchild, or this is her brainchild, everything. So I'd love to know if you can just give a little introduction to yourself and how Broad Humor started.
Broad Humor started because I was noticing I have a lot of female filmmaking friends, and so I pay attention to what's happening in the business, and I was a clown in the circus once upon a time, so comedy's my thing. And we noticed that the Writers Guild had a magazine that came out, and they'd had a blind submission competition for a comedy screenplay. And there was not one woman in the finalists. So, is it because women weren't funny? Is it because women don't know how to use language? Is it because we didn't know? Maybe there aren't any good screenplays by women, or maybe they're using a measuring stick that they think is 9 inches and isn't. So I decided with a co-worker who'd worked in a lot of festivals to start Broad Humor, to see. And we made 2 very powerful rules. Everything had to both be written and directed by women. Because the idea was to see what do women generate when they're not working with men. And is it different, and how? That's how it started.
Wow. So, is it different?
Yeah.
How so?
The main thing I'd say is that what it seems like to me, I've read every screenplay and I've watched every film for 7 years. Every submission. Not everyone that's gotten in, every submission. And I think there are a couple of things that are important to keep in mind. One is that the business is incredibly hard for everybody. It's not that every time you get a rejection as a woman, it's because they don't like women's stuff. But that said, I think that the model in Hollywood that they know works, mostly, sometimes, is that you change the elements of the story, you change the world in order to deliver the highest possible arc and peak for the main character. And climax, and then denouement. Women start with the world. And then they create the world to be the breeding ground for humor, and there's lots of different humor that arises out of it. But you change the characters to fit the world and to make the world funny. So women, it goes back to a lot of what was written about morality by the Kohlberg scale at Harvard. That guy said, you know, men are more moral than women because they are the only ones who get to 5 like Thoreau. Women are kind of stuck around 3. And one of his assistants, Carol Gilligan, kept noticing that the women were fighting the paradigm. So she, after she was part of this famous work and paper as a graduate assistant, created her own study where she changed it from a hierarchy of value to a web of relationship. And the minute she did that, the women were 1 to 5 and the men were kind of stuck around 3. So there are 2 axes. And if you're looking at this one, the women are all in the middle. But if you turn it this way, the women have the full range and the guys are kind of stuck in the middle. So we operate under 2 axes morally, in our value system, and I think also in our narrative style. This is why stories by women are so important, because there's a dual morality that we've lost. There's a dual force tension pulling on the development of a moral culture, because we're only hearing from one side. Stories built on the model of Aristotle. Aristotle, you build toward a very big climax and a cigarette. That's the male model of orgasm. I say Broad Humor is a way for guys to come and experience the female model of orgasm, which is a lot of little laughs and maybe not any big one at all, but you're having fun all the time. Little climax, see? So it's a different sexual model, and I didn't come up with the sexual model orgasm thing. The theorists about that did, but I'm just saying. You know, women watch soap operas. What are soap operas? Lots of little deaths, right? Not just one big climax. Women are important in television. Television has shifted to the female narrative story model a lot, right? Not just every episode has its own giant climax and a cigarette. But, you know, there's ongoing stories and they're moving. It's the multiple orgasm model. It's particularly important in comedy because comedy is also letting go and release. So, Hollywood is not picking these movies and these scripts because they don't think they're going to be any good. They're kind of they're kind of 3s out of a scale of 5. They don't really deliver.
They don't have like the guffaw, it's all small.
However, if you model on the other side, the guys' movies are kind of boring. I mean, no, okay, yes, I understand you had to do that to get into there, but do I care? No.
Can you pull out an example, either from past years or this year, that is a story that we will never hear in Hollywood right now, that is a really important one to hear, you think?
Okay. If you're going to ask me all of them, I'm going to get confused. So let me think about last year.
Last year.
Because last year was last year. Let's see. I'm drawing a blank because so last year we had
that one from Dane.
The Belgian film.
Yeah, the Belgian.
But
film.
I just for this minute I can't actually to my mind. Even recall the film, what it was about, because I've just gotten. I think this is called stage fright or on the spot fright. No wait, it was called.
She rode her bike every day to that university and was having that weird affair with that guy. Wasn't it?
No, that wasn't it.
Okay.
It was the one about the. It was the act. Okay, we don't see this. The main character. It was a group of women. That's what it was. Okay, each one of them had an arc. So there were 4 main arcs. Okay, or 3. There was the main character who was an actress who was in her 50s, late 40s, early 50s, and could still seduce any man she wanted. Right there.
Very different.
Very different. You know, she, at one point, this famous director, she's an actress, and the director has got this young hottie next to him, and she's looking at it, and there's a part of her that's distasteful that he's playing around with a 20-year-old, but she's also confident. She'll get it. But, okay, she's going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there's that. So she's someone who's addicted to love, and always has to have a lover, and always has to be the one who captures them. She has a divorced ex-husband, and there's a whole arc with her.
Right.
And there's another arc, fascinating, compelling, about this young couple who they're trying to get pregnant. It's the perfect couple, but it turns out she's never had an orgasm, and she thinks it's like flossing. Sex is like flossing. Orgasm, too much is made of it, and then she has an affair. And then there's the sister, the younger sister, who has a boyfriend, and she has no time for him because she really has a crush on the husband, and so. But each one of these takes a full arc, and each one of them is compelling and interesting and very funny. Now we're getting a lot of films from Europe because the women in Europe can get money. So I've 2 of our years, our 7 years, the award has gone, Best Feature has gone to a European film. Was it the 3rd year as well? Was it an Italian? I don't know if the Italian film won or not. I can't remember now. But once a Spanish film and once a Belgian film. And we have another great film this year because they can get money. Mm-hmm. But the point is the structure. Did you see the movie Police this year? The French movie? Yeah. That's structured like a woman's story. Okay? You think it's a story about this woman. Oh no, it jumps over here. Oh no, it jumps over here. And for a while you're completely involved in this other arc. And then there's a tying it together at the end, but really not in the way of, you know, a typical American movie, even with a female star like, what's the one with Gina Davis where Long Kiss Goodnight, okay? Mm-hmm. I mean, that has, you know, that's that's a action movie with a lot of comedy in it, but that's the American model, and that's okay, but it's not the only one. So I would say our winner last year, which was Addicted to Love, no, Madly in Love, Smurverlift is what the name is, Madly in Love, was a great movie. It was a blast from beginning to end. It didn't have one climax, though. It had this one, oh, that was fun, oh, that was fun, oh, that was fun, and you still have room for more. You're not done. You don't want your cigarette now. You want to take another ride.
Mm-hmm. So, do you feel, or have you seen with the audiences that, I mean, the audiences that you're going to have at the film festival have are made up quite a lot of the filmmakers themselves.
And their friends. It's true. But we also get other people who go to other film festivals at our thing. Our first year, a guy in the audience in the talkback raised his hand and said, "This is the best shorts program I've seen at any film festival, hands down. Why aren't you guys submitting to other festivals?" And every woman on that panel said, "We did." He says, "Well, what? I mean, this is funny. What about the HBO festival?" How many submitted? Hands were raised, turned down. And he was like shocked.
Why?
He was shocked. The numbers are appalling in film festivals. They're appalling.
And with the people, is it the selection committees? Do you think, or have you seen how are most of them made up of men, or is it?
There's a dual dynamic going on. The guys look for what they know,
Mm-hmm.
and the women are looking to protect themselves. They don't want to pick a movie that everybody's going to roll their eyes about. They don't want to. They can't be vulnerable. It has to be a slam dunk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a vulnerability to it. And I feel like I'm back in the 70s. The minute I moved to LA, I felt like I walked back 20 years. The relationships between men and women, how women are afraid to promote men. I mean, I remember a great talk that I heard by a woman who was the head of some hospital department, one of the first women doctors to head a major hospital. And she said she couldn't expect the women to open the doors for her because they were vulnerable. Her failure or other people not getting it the way they got it. They don't trust their own opinion because they're vulnerable. You know.
And you, last year, was that the first DIY day?
Yes, last year was the first day we did a whole day of workshops. We pulled them out of the regular festival. Because what I see is that women submit to my festival, and I'm going to start shifting it as we move forward, more and more toward developing voices, to help women develop their own voice, rather than trying to make the jump into Hollywood, because Hollywood is not interested in women doing comedy, by and large. Mm-hmm. If they are, they're playing it safe. They want it to be the model that they are. And I'm saying we need to build what we, as a culture, we need this other type of paradigm. As a culture, we need both, okay? We don't need just the Aristotelian climax in a cigarette. We need the multiple orgasm model to work, the web of relationship model, as well as the individual triumphant climbing the ladder of virtue model. They're both important, and we're missing one. We've handed story to the marketplace, and the stories the marketplace tells can be wonderful and fun, but you wouldn't handle your children's diet to the marketplace.
Oh no.
You wouldn't hand, you wouldn't hand your whether how you spend and how you save to the marketplace. You don't want certain things in the hand of the market, but story is how we know each other and ourselves, how we make peace and joy with each other and in ourselves. Studies are showing women are less happy now than they were pre-women's lib. I don't think it's women's lib. I think it's that the stories are not matching what's happening in their lives. The women still aren't involved in the story, so they don't know how to think about themselves. They're torn. It's broken. The storytelling system is broken. And so I'm not telling people this is the way to get an agent to be in this festival. Come, meet these other women, and that's what this workshop day is. It's how can you make your own movie? A lot of our writers have tried, and some have succeeded, and some it's not so good. Trying. So I start the day with the idea and take you through the steps, soup to nuts, of how to get something up on the web and promote it. Now, it's harder than just a day's. You can't learn it all in a day, but you can at least get a roadmap that you can follow.
Some.
And so, to get a start, to be like it's possible. If you can build your audience as a woman, you can make a living as a woman on the web. And then once you've got an audience, if you've got a big enough audience, you can go to a bank and get your own funding, your own financing, your own completion bond. You've got the audience. They'll give it to you. You can hire people. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way women are going to break through. So we do that. I also have a thing in the festival called the Legacy Project, which means every year I have a category with 3 rules. If you make a 3-minute film or shorter that follow the 3 rules, you're in the festival. Guaranteed. No submission fee. Nothing. Once you're in, you're abroad. And it's because I want women to keep making films, and it's really hard. It's like pulling teeth to get them to do it.
What are the 3 rules?
For this year, there can be no dialogue spoken. And not that there can't be language, but there's no dialogue. 2, there has to be a toy that moves on its own, whether it's powered, whether it's an airplane, whatever. And 3, I want to see some great shoes.
Oh.
That's it. Shoes as a costume thing. The prop is a toy that moves on its own, and no dialogue. In honor of the winning film, the artist.
Oh.
Right? Just as a kind of nod to the main biz. Because I also want people to say, how the frick do I make a movie like that? Risk it. It'll get shown no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So try something. It's not funny, we'll talk about it.
And so I noticed last year too with the DIY that some people were very encouraged by web series coming out, and you were really encouraging people to look at that as a model, either as a way to get the word out or just as the platform. And what have you seen as people's hesitation in going on the web versus typical routes?
I think I think a lot of people don't really understand how money is made on the web.
Yeah, that's true.
2, if you build it and promote it, they will come. And I don't mean promote it old school, like just spamming these people and say come to my movie and I've got this Kickstarter. You have to find the people who want your stuff. If you love it, there's probably other people who want it too. Mm-hmm. They're hungry too. Just the way, so look at your hunger, but then if your writing is therapy, no. If you want somebody to give you the green light and $1 million in a television series, that's not us. But I have seen some women grow and some not. Mm-hmm. You need to get help, you need to get collaborators, you need to do it badly, and then get better. And the web is a great place to get better. Your first screenplay is going to have great stuff in it, but it's not going to be your masterwork. Get things in front of an audience, have them hate it, have them love it. See what draws people in. Decide you want this audience or not. Develop it. And, there's probably an audience online for someone who does, Emily Dickinson poetry, drama, theater. I don't know. You got to find it, There's stuff all over the web for people doing the interesting thing that they want. You have to try things that you're interested in. Watch things that you like. Talk with those people. Go to school on the web. Go to school. Don't go to filmmaking school. Go to web video school. If you follow people, they will, and be interested in what they're doing, you'll learn from them, and they'll watch you, and suddenly you'll have a community of filmmakers and people who love to watch the web. That's what I hope. Nobody really knows. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's still the Wild West, which is great.
Which is great. So go out there. Don't plan on within 6 months, getting a Hollywood deal. Go out there because you love telling stories and you want to do it on film and you're going to figure out how to do it. Don't love your first thing. I learned this when I was doing art. I was taking classes at the Corcoran, and this beautiful clay sculpture I made, oh my God, went in the kiln. The next piece exploded to smithereens. Oh. And I was upset. I was devastated. My teacher said, no, it's just as you liked it too much. It's good that it was destroyed. Move on. Keep working. If you keep working, you're not a master artist. You have to keep working. So for her, this nationally known sculptor, I was being, yes, it was beautiful. You made it. Do it again. And do it again. And do it again. And do it again.
It's too precious,
It's too precious. And I see that in so much of this work. I love reading the screenplays. I hate turning people down. It's my best friend Jenny, who's also my landlord, teases me every year because she says, "Why do you do this? You suffer." When I have to make the list of the yes and the noses, I weep. The noses. Because in some way I want to let everybody in. But it's not to their help. It doesn't help them. Last year I turned down a broad who wrote a screenplay 2 years ago. She was a finalist. Last year I turned down her script. I called her. I said, it's not any better than the other one. You got to grow. This year it's a fabulous script. Oh, great. I cried. I laughed and I cried. I mean, come on. So maybe it was a good thing that I said it didn't grow. Because this one, so much better.
And can you just quickly take us through how the weekend goes?
Sure. Thursday night we have a live show. Women doing comic things. We have comic musical performance. We're going to have a short play. We're going to have improv. We have 2 fabulous stand-up comics that we had last year. Lori Kilmartin and Aparna Nachala, who have both been on, HBO and Comedy Central and Last Comic Standing and all the rest. They're fabulous. But we're also going to have, like I said, the other things. There's this dance troupe, this woman, husband and wife who do fun, and they're fun and funny. So it's all ways in which women are making humor in this cabaret called the Aphrodite Cabaret.
Oh, sweet.
And then that's Thursday night. Friday all day is the workshop. Then we're going to have a mixer, which is kind of going to be invitation only. Maybe there's a way to work it out that some people can get an invitation. But it's badge holders and invitation only. I'm inviting people from the UCLA producing class. I'm trying to get artists to come together with the filmmakers to meet them all and have a party. Right? Then there's a screening Friday night. Saturday from 10 to 10. Screenings all day. Except for in the middle of the day, we are having a panel about a web series called The Unwritten Rules. It's an African-American woman, you're going to talk to her, I hope, later, who wrote a book about the unwritten rules of the workplace for African-American, kind of funny, tongue-in-cheek, but also helpful. Yeah. And so she has this comedy web series. And so she's going to show some episodes. She's bringing a couple of her directors, her actress, and talking about African-American women and comedy and, you know, what possibilities are out there for them. Okay? That's in the middle of the day at 4. Other than that, it's all screenings. We have 5 features and 2 shorts programs. Sunday, I still haven't heard back whether we're going to have the Writers Guild come again. That was a big popular thing. Writers Guild can't come to talk to our writers about the opportunities and support that they get from the Guild, even at this level that they're at now. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to screen a legacy feature, and the shorts, the legacy shorts for this year. And then we're going to have the screenplay readings. We do a scene from every screenplay that's a finalist.
Oh, nice.
Just so because the people who submit to screenplays to festivals pay more than the people submitting films, or just as much. And often, all that happens is one of them gets a prize at the end. Maybe 10 of them get listed as a finalist on the website. Ooh, whereas the filmmakers get screened, they get to see their films, they get to invite their friends. So I can't read every screenplay, or even any. It's not long enough to read, but what I can do is have a scene read so that the characters can sort of come to life. Sometimes the actors don't do a great job and the writers are disappointed, but in general, it's been very successful. And then we do the awards, and then we all go home and collapse.
Yes.
And then the next day I have a birthday party.
Oh, lovely. Your birthday?
Yeah.
Well, we'll celebrate the whole weekend then.
Well, that will be nice. That will be nice. So that's it. So it's a fun gals weekend. Guys have a great time too. The films are fun. The guys, you know, women are laughing at themselves, guys. If you want to know really what we should be laughing at women about, not what guys you should come. But really also just grab your gals and go. You can come with your children, you can come with your mom, you come with your girlfriends. It's a festival where I try to make a community, so people come, they talk to each other, they meet each other, they make friends there. It's not a film festival where, okay, you're in, here's your thing, go enjoy yourself, and you're on your own. You know, we really do try to create, because we're women, web of relationship, Carol Gilligan, hello, right? And then everybody takes their handmade purse, because most years I make the handbags.
Because you don't have enough to do.
Well,
coordinating the festival.
It's an installation. It's got a personal touch. We are Etsy, not Amazon. Mm-hmm. We're handmade. Our films, our festival, and it's got that extra thing that handmade has. That isn't something that you can mass market, perhaps, at this level, but really develops style and develops voices, because we need them. That's it.
And you can go to broadhumor.com. Mm-hmm. She's also on Twitter at broadhumor, and Facebook. There's a Broad Humor Film Festival page. Mm-hmm. And we'll also put the YouTube page. It'll be one of the favorites on this one for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Through the festival. There's one other thing I wanted to ask you about. Oh, it's at the Electric Lodge.
The Electric Lodge Theater in Venice is one of the first solar-powered theaters in the country. It's got a very great ambiance. There's lots of community support there. We really love it. So it's a small theater. It's a 99-seat. So it's a pretty intimate festival. And we only have one thing happening at a time. Mm-hmm. So everybody can go to everything if they want. Now this year it's the same day. Saturday's the Abbot Kinney Festival. We have parking on the premises, but you can only stay while you're at the festival. If you're going to go to the Abbot Kinney, you got to park at the Abbot Kinney parking, or find it instead. But if you come
to the festival, you can
park.
That's an extra incentive. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you. And we're going to have a few more interviews rolling out today, as well as during the rest of the time leading up to the festival. And I'm hoping to do some live stuff while I'm there on Friday, which will be really fun. And thanks. Definitely you want to check out Broad Humor Film Festival. All the information will be in the description, and you can subscribe to their channel. I'll put it right there.